Hello, this is Sierra and welcome to another video. Today we're doing another video reading the next chapter of Hermitcraft Freedom, Chapter 4. Today we'll be diving into what Jem was up to, mentioned in the last couple of chapters. Going over here with, Matthias and Pearl, see what was going on at Folsis. I do have to warn you that this is the start of a story arc in relation to the former hermits, Eskel and Stress. So, if you're not interested in continuing the story, that's fine. As I tried to make the story as respectful as possible to the people involved, but still based it on the story. It's like what goes on in the story. So, yeah, this is the start of it. Yeah, it will end in its proper time. But this is where it begins. This is where things start to get a little heated, a little warm, a little warm. Things start happening. So, yeah. Captions are available if you're interested. If you just want to hang out, yeah, that's fine too. Let's get to it. Chapter 4. Jem landed on the grassy earth in front of Folsis base. Matthias and Pearl landed beside her a moment later. The surrounding wilderness was quiet for an early morning. No sound of stray monsters slumbering about. No animals waking up from their slumber. It's like the forest was holding its breath. I don't see any sign that the men are still here, Matthias reported, analyzing their environment with a critical eye. They could be hiding, Jem warned, squaring her shoulders back. False said they only retreated when she and her protector stepped in. Pearl shook her head. Let's get inside. I'll scout around outside, just in case of any stragglers. In case of any stragglers, Matthias nodded. Don't go far. You know we'll be careful. Jem smiled. Matthias gave her a knowing smile before launching up into the sky once more. Jem and Pearl exchanged a look before breaking into a jog to False's front door. Jem hesitated at the door before pushing it open. False? We're in here, False called out. Jem slipped inside, entering the main room. The curtain was closed, concealing the world outside. False's protector, David, stood by the window, giving the new arrivals a brisk nod. False was sitting on a couch, beside a second figure. A lump formed in Jem's throat. The name caught on the tip of her tongue. What happened? Pearl asked, her eyes widening. False looked up at the two of them, a grim expression on her face. Stress was going to a meeting with Escal when the defector showed up. She barely made it out, but he can't be dead, Stress insisted through sniffles and tears. He could still be out there. He could be hurt. What about Escal? Jem asked. Never showed up, David reported. I called his protector to see if he was okay, but he hasn't heard from him since last night. Oh, Jem gulped, looking between the hermits on the couch and David. This just keeps getting worse. Stress shook her head. I've never seen anything like this. No one should have to, Paul said calmly, rubbing her hand along her friend's back. At least you got away. But they'll come back, Stress mumbled. Nowhere is safe. We need to figure out a plan of action, David replied. Do you think you can get in contact with Carl? I think he could help find our friend a place to stay, seeing as leaving her on her own isn't ideal. I can, Jem nodded, pulling out a communicator. Her gaze moved over to her distressed friend. We'll find him. Mark my words. The stress nodded. This guy was there when I needed someone to talk to. Something happened to him. He's smart, Pearl said confidently. He'll find a way to get in touch, or escape if they have him. But we won't stop looking, Jem said matter-of-factly. Stress nodded. Please be careful. We will, Jem smiled, stepping out of the main room and into the kitchen, making sure she wasn't far. just in case. The sun was beginning to set when the trio returned to Hermit Fortress. Very few lights were on in the base as Jem entered the base. More than happy to return home. There had been no luck in the search for Stress's missing protector or his skull. David had urged them to return to base once Carl had finalized a safe house for Stress to be taken to. Carl would be picking her up tomorrow morning, but at least she would be safe. What are these defectors up to? Jim sighed. Why come for Stress and Iskel? They have nothing to do with Steppy. She shook her head. They were still her friends, and if they wanted to get their attention, they had definitely succeeded. They were planning something. But what? Good to see you making it back, Clara said, stepping out of the main room. It's been a long day, Jim admitted. Stress was attacked by this morning. Her protector is presumed dead, and Iskel is missing. Clara nodded. She's okay? She scratches, but she's okay. That's good, at least, Clara replied. Carl's picking her up tomorrow to take her to a safe house, in case the men try to come for her again, Pearl stated. Hopefully that goes well, Clara sighed. You two should get some sleep. You'll need to be well rested for training tomorrow. Jem smirked. For us or the interns? Both. It's good to keep your skills sharp. There could be trouble at any time. Yes, ma'am, Jem said cheerfully, heading toward the kitchen. Gotta make a call first before I can go to bed. Clara chuckled from behind as Jem entered the kitchen, pulling out her communicator again. She stared down at it for a long moment, unsure what to say. Should she tell Scott what happened today? She was just checking it, just to make sure everything was running smoothly. The last thing she wanted was for someone like Gerald to find her friends and put them in danger again. You want me to do it? Kate's calm voice asked. Jem looked up, seeing the girl casually sitting at a small kitchen table, a book and quill in front of her. I'm fine, Jem admitted. Stress is being relocated after Off-World and the skull is missing. There's no sign of where he could have gone. No symbol either. Oh, Kate said softly. Yeah, Jem replied. Defectors are up to something, that's for sure. Kate tensed before looking away. Are you sure you don't want me to call? I can check in for you. You don't know the courts. Then tell me. Jem hesitated. You haven't been up since I woke up this morning, have you? I had a nap, she shrugged. Gerald wouldn't let me have any peace. Jem shook her head. We need to find a way to help you. He's going after the others, too, she said, clenching her fists on the table. Someone is always waking up from a nightmare. Julius doesn't know what else he can do. Then we need to get him away from them, Jem said. How? Kate asked. I need to find them in the dream world. If we aren't alone, you will find it's harder to hurt us. Kate nodded. Doesn't believe you. So what? Jem snapped. I never asked for his opinion. Kate smiled. I just wanted him to hear you say that. Good, Jem stated, holding up a communicator. Now I'm going to talk to Scott. Is that okay? Yeah, Kate replied. I want to know how Dan and his team are doing with Doc's mission. Jem smiled, tapping the coordinates. Kate was watching her intently as Jem completed the set and pressed the button to connect. Hello? Jem, is that you? Scott's voice came through a moment later. Yep, just doing my nightly check-in. Sun's just gone down. Did you have a good day? More or less, Jem stated. Nothing I couldn't handle. Of course, Scott chuckled. We're doing fine, too. Apparently you wrote us some safe houses built for special situations. That's good, Jem replied. It is, Scott agreed. I want to make sure our friends are safe when I'm out with my team. Speaking of teams, how have you guys been with the current mission? Very good. We have overtaken 30 hidden bases from all over the world. We're only getting started. So you're moving around a lot? Kate asked, leaning closer, sitting on the edge of her seat in anticipation. We are, Scott said. Jen's idea, so our enemies can't find us that easily. Great. Kate's eyes gleamed before they immediately dimmed. I do have to warn you. If you do catch anyone who carries Gerald's DNA, don't do or say anything important in front of them. He's linked to them. How do you know? Scott wondered. She used my blood to infect them with him. He can see and hear what they hear. I don't know how far he can go with it, but be careful. Scott paused for a moment. All right, I'll let my team know. Kate sighed in relief. Jim raised an eyebrow. What was that girl up to? That everything? Looks like it, Scott reported. Stay safe out there, Gemini. I will if you will, Major. Jim ended the call and glanced once more at the 13-year-old girl. Kate wasn't meeting her eyes, writing something in her book. What's that for? Jim asked curiously, approaching. Kate immediately sat up straight and slammed the book shut, resting her hand on the blue cover. Nothing. Just a place where I can write down my ideas, she said quickly. We're trying to find ways to slow the defectors down without redstone. We? Jim frowned. Me, Skid, and Green, she beamed. Ah, Jim nodded. That's good. Your mother's doing better? Yep, Kate smiled. The potion seems to be working. Good. Jim turned toward the kitchen door. You've been acting a little odd today. I'm fine, Kate replied. See you tomorrow. You too, Jim glanced back. I want you to try to get more sleep too. We need you at your full strength. Training's tomorrow. I figured, Kate giggled. Clara wouldn't want us to get caught in a mess like that last time again. I wouldn't either, Jim admitted, brushing a strand of orange hair behind her ear. Sweet dreams. You too. That's the end of that. That's the end of chapter 4. Yeah. The beginning has begun, I guess you could say. But we'll see how that goes. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and you come back for the next one next week, where we see what happens next. I'm just looking at like the sideboard, just seeing like, oh, the amount of people. It's like we've got a lot of people perspectives, a lot of different people. I think you'll like it. But, yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Whenever that may be. Goodbye.